Pisces, hello and welcome to your Spring 2023 Shapeshift reading. We are looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like for the spring season. I'm Andy, I'm your reader, and today I'm joined by the Energy Archaeology Oracle by Ashley Stinson. I chose this deck because it focuses on the skeletal system, and as I'm thinking about spring, I have this image of like bones creaking and cracking back to life. I think it's really interesting for you specifically, Pisces, because Saturn is a planet that we might associate with the bones, the skeletal structure, scaffolding of the body, and Saturn is now in Pisces, in your sign. So I can't wait to do Pisces reading. I've been waiting for this to see what Saturn has to say now that it's in your sign. So let's look at the shapeshift for you, Pisces, this spring. Oh, 3 cards all at once. Well, that's nice. Okay, great. Great. How do I want it to go? Well, okay, let's look at this together. We have wisdom, protection, and activating. So the wisdom is shown by the teeth. Protection is shown by the true ribs, the rib cage. And the activating card is shown by the right foot, taking a step in these beautiful grasses. So I'm getting the sense, Pisces, that actually there's like Saturn is bringing deep wisdom, and this feels like Saturn, this idea of wisdom and protection. I don't know, it sort of feels like the grounding sense of protection and deep wisdom that you might trust and feel safe in to be able to take a potentially activating step forward. The activating right foot card feels to me like something bold, like you're beginning something new, like something is beginning to want to move in some way. Like maybe taking a really big, bold step, which is why you would need wisdom and you would need protection. Like you would need a sense of being safe enough to do something bold like that. And you would need a sense of the wisdom to do it smartly. You know, like to be able to trust yourself, to trust your steps. I don't know, with Saturn in Aquarius the last 3 years, it really shook things there. Basically that coincided with this global pandemic. And so I think it's maybe feels hard for a lot of us to feel safe or to feel like we can trust enough to make bold moves or to take big steps or to like reactivate, to come back to life again. And maybe with Saturn out of Aquarius, there will just be like a general collective sense of finding trust, because wisdom and protection feels like finding trust enough to take new steps and to move forward. Interesting in this card that we're sort of left behind as this foot, this skeleton moves forward. So there is some sort of sense of forward movement here. I just, when I pulled those cards up, I put them back down in the order of protection first, then wisdom in the middle, the teeth in the middle, and then the activating right foot. I might end up keeping that order. So the cards you might have seen might have been in this order, because I'm looking at it now and I'm like, oh, I actually like that. It just, for some reason, visually is making more sense to me. Anyway, the protection, the true ribs, the thinking about like this wild waterfall, like the way, okay, Pisces, now we're talking about you. We're talking about water. And if it's going to flow in a direction to free fall off of a cliff, like this waterfall, then it needs the protection around it of like a specific channel that's channeling that water through. And this is an image for Pisces that I hadn't thought of up until this point, of Saturn moving into Pisces. Because if you think of Saturn, you think of structure. And if you think of Pisces, you think of not so much structure, you know, like much more flow and much more like free flow, mutable water sort of flowing wherever. But maybe Saturn moving into your sign is creating protective channels for your Piscean energy. And this could be for anyone with, this is all of us, by the way, like wherever Pisces is in our chart. If it's in your third house, like, okay, what is that, you know, if the third house is like day-to-day communications, networks, the routes you take day to day and the relationships you form along those routes, like in your neighborhood, in your immediate environments, what does that have to do with like Saturn creating protective channels for more flow, or more specifically directed flow in those areas of your life? Okay, that's interesting, Pisces. Protection as more specifically directed flow. Saturn coming in and kind of coaxing some of that water into specific channels. I like that. I like that a lot. So that you have the direction you need to be able to activate, to be able to move. And like move freely, because I just keep feeling like the waterfall like is just this free fall of water and really intense flow. You know, we can sometimes think of Saturn as kind of biting, as a bit limiting. But what if those limitations actually create a stronger flow? That's cool. You know, help the water gather momentum, and then rush off of the edge in this really like majestic way. Okay. Structure helping you feel safe enough to activate, to make moves, make choices. Maybe to come alive again. Okay, Pisces, this is an interesting direction for this reading. I'm not surprised to see Saturn here. So we are going to use other decks now. I've got the Fifth Spirit Tarot with me, some other Oracle cards, and we're going to get to clarify in this reading and see how it's specifically showing up for you this spring. So if it's resonating with you so far and you'd like to see the rest of the reading, you can do that in the shifting space. This is an online community that has been built around these shift readings. Together throughout the season, we investigate the readings to see how they're resonating for us personally and as a community at the beginning, middle, and end points of the season. We loop in astrology to see, like, as time goes by, the ways that each sign's reading is resonating in that moment or with the particular transits that are happening. And you can, of course, do that for yourself as well. It's a really fun community space, and if it's the right thing for you, maybe I'll see you in there for the rest of this reading. You can just click the link in the description below, and that will take you to a place where you can read all about it. And then we can really get in to this reading. All right, Pisces. Let's do it.